Hello, hello. I am Sunday, and you're watching Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. I'm Will Melton. This is a Channel RVA production. I'm going to get my music started over here and make sure I've got my volume tuned right. But I also want to get my audio hooked up to my headset. So give me 1 second while I get that going. I am chatless today. I don't have my chat. All right, let's see.
You're tuned into Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
All right. So yesterday I was working on a build that I started called the New Faith Movement. It is an app that is daily practice. You can call it a religion, a faith. You can call it whatever you want. But my aim is to create space for connection and service. And leadership. So I'll talk a little bit more about that if you didn't join me yesterday. But I'm going to try to get my chat back into my screen here, but it's going to take me a second to do that because I've never been able to figure out how to do it without restarting my entire. All right. View. I'm assuming I'm live. Anyway, I'm building with Lovable and I'm building 52 apps 2026. I might just restart this stream and connect because I feel like if I can't chat with you guys, I don't know what you're thinking about. I don't know what you've got going on. So let me see what I'm dealing with on this stream. It looks like I'm connected. I cannot see my hey Michael. I can see my chat if I go over to Twitch. So that's cool. Thank you for joining me. I've got a solution to my problem. Let me get this pulled up and put over into the other screen so I can see you guys while I'm in here. I'm using OBS, which is a software application that is free. Oh, that's pretty cool. Um, and in any event, it's a monitor, it's a control UI for this thing. So basically, what I want to do is get back to building today. So before I do that, I'm going to ask you guys to check out Channel RVA, which is the home of studio.willmelton.com. It's kind of a home for all of my content. If you're not subscribed over there, I encourage you to do so. I have been working on building a way to connect people to their local community here in Richmond. And it's interesting. It's been a fun build. I continue to tweak it and improve it. And I'll show you a little bit behind the scenes today just for fun. I will work on a couple of things here. But let's see what I've got. Try to make sure that I keep a chat open over here with you guys. And then, of course, I'm missing whatever's happening over on LinkedIn. But yeah, vibe coding. Lovable is my app of choice. It was the first to 100 million annual recurring revenue, and they've built a really great product. So I should have in today's description, if I don't, I will have it later, a referral code that you can use to get 10 free credits on Lovable. I think it's 10 free credits, and start building and start to see what you can make for yourself. I feel like it is it's a joy to build if you're somebody who has the mindset of solving problems. It empowers you in a big way. And so you can also see all the things that I'm building in this calendar year over at studio.willmelton.com. I've got all my shows at Channel RVA, but I have my actual builds over here. So you can see this and check out some of the things that I've been working on. Some weird projects. I'm not deterred by things that might seem odd or strange. And today I think is a little bit of one of those builds. The New Faith movement is it's kind of reimagining religion, but I know that religion rubs some people the wrong way, so we'll talk about this a little bit today. The motivation, if you didn't join me yesterday, and also the vehicle by which we get there. And there's a lot of different parts to it. And so I think in complex systems. So this is something that doesn't it kind of flows with me in the way I think. So my aim here is to create space for people who feel perhaps left behind by traditional faith, traditional religion, where we have just all this negative stuff. And so this is a way of living, a way of being. And it's not, I wouldn't say that it's terribly disconnected from other religions, but it doesn't rely on some foundational story or some epic hero or some deity. It's really just about us. It's about our individual lives. It's about our coming together and recognizing that we have needs and wants, and we also live in community with other people. And so we have to respect that and treat them as an integrated thing so that we can actually have a better life. And so this is all here. I don't have this online yet. We'll share this today. But what I've done, if you weren't following along yesterday, is I have created an admin area. I need to create a user for myself. So I will upgrade my account to admin here through the Lovable agent. One of the things I love about Lovable, no pun intended, is that I can use the UI to talk to my database and make changes to my database. I can use it to change my interface. I can use it to change the functions. I can use it to be a thinking partner. I can do so much with it, and I've learned how to speed up my development pace and cadence. I've been able to learn how to have, I wouldn't call it a relationship, but a partnership with the agent. And it doesn't always work perfectly, but what we aim to do is through the code that we have and everything that we have in the cloud, so the database, allow the agent to have a coherent understanding of what we've built. Now, I take that a step further, and let's see if I can get the roadmap here. The roadmap, oh. I guess I'm not signed in. I thought I was signed in. Okay, here we go. So, if you haven't done this with me before, the roadmap is another way for me to create that coherence for the Lovable agent. So I'm able to put in here all of my plans and This is not right. uh, so there was something weird going on there. It should not be. There's a lot of things that are weird here, like the sprint auto assembler. It says that it's there's all kinds of stuff that's not right about this. I was complaining yesterday because this build didn't necessarily work quite how I'd hoped it would. Went awry early, but we've got features here that say that they're planned, but I see that they're already in here. We have uh, just all kinds of weird stuff. Um, yes. I keep claiming that I'm going to fix this problem and just move the files manually, but I haven't done that yet. And one of the things that happens is I'll get into these cycles where I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Eventually, I'll think to myself, how can I speed that up? And I'll get serious about it. But I also kind of like not going too fast. It helps me to think about different angles. Taking a look through the product roadmap, I can see things that I've thought about previously that I've forgotten about because I'm moving and I can't have it all up here at once. So it's an organization system, but it's also just a way for me to think through the process. So just talking with you guys a little bit about what my mental process is like. But this interface needs a whole lot of work. So we did the front end first yesterday, which I like to do because I think that the communication side of things are important for the builder as much as for the audience who's going to comprehend what it is that we've built. I couldn't turn this on today if it didn't have that standard of communication. So that's kind of the reason why I took that approach. Um, so one of the things that I've been doing is usually I go over to my roadmap and I grab the SDK prompt instructions so that I can very explicitly tell this thing how to build it. But it's let me just do that. That actually that's going to solve my problems here. All right, Lovable. Okay. We're going to try to get this done. I actually didn't work on this yesterday after I signed off. I ended up just going about the world and doing the rest of my weekend. So you've seen this if you were with me yesterday. You haven't seen. There's not been anything else that's happened. All right. What do I want to pull up here? We'll close out of that. We don't need that anymore. Oh, that's going to take a little bit, so I'm going to let that run here in the background. Close out some of these tabs because it's not doing me a lot of good to have all that there. And let's see. All right, so channel RVA. I'm going to give this a prompt really quickly. I want to be able to read the current temperature and the day's forecast inside the editor's desk so that I can give proper advice about things to do. I'm also inside the editor's desk and I realize that I can only see 20 books. Is that a cap? Because I should be able to see more books. I also think that maybe we can add a filter that allows me to see only books that I haven't shared before. So basically, what I do is I do a newsletter every day for Channel RVA, 7 days a week. Some days I do not wake up at 5:30 a.m. and send it like yesterday. I did today. But if I don't, something still goes out. So it's just might be a little bit stale in the news front, but there's still sort of a forecast, horoscope, stories from the blog, from the articles, and in any event, this editor's desk helps me to figure out what I'm going to include in the newsletter. Now, something that was weird today is that I just didn't really get a lot of stories this morning from my newswire reads, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm doing a quick refresh here to see if it pulls anything down. It seems like it's taken longer than normal, which is unusual. Okay, I did get more stories this time, so maybe there just wasn't anything before 6 a.m. So here's what I'm doing. I'm looking here and I'm saying, okay, questions for the war within 30 days. We'll queue that up for publication. I like the stories about the cost of living. Those are impactful in people's lives. And now I have these incoming submissions. I'll come over here to the story queue and I can essentially take a look at the facts from the original story. I have some notes in here. I'm going to see if I can't improve this today, as a matter of fact. Problem is there's some stuff in here. There's some like injected sort of things. So let me talk to this really quickly. So with the AI organized reporting notes inside the story queue, I'm noticing things like
You're tuned into channel RVA,
style flags
the
that I
media
don't
hub
know
for
are
independent
necessarily things
creators.
that need to be in the
Subscribe at
reporting notes.
channelrva.com.
I felt like the reporting notes are really supposed to be critical details for the production of the story. I feel as if any kind of rules about style should be in the function, not here. Beyond that, I'm curious about what sort of improvements we might make to the organize step to be able to get a better output. I'm particularly interested in not tripping up the writer. For instance, follow ups, story angles, um, reporting gaps. Like all those things have the potential to skew what's actually written. And the goal here is we're not going to go and dig into this story further as a real reporter. We want to just kind of summarize what was originally reported and then always, angle for the local context if it matters. Um, the audience relevance seems to work pretty well, but I'm just looking for improvements at this point to improve the output of the written article. So now that this organized step is done, I didn't have to do this. There's a draft step that's going to happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the draft right now so that we can get the output, and then we'll see what the comparison output is after we improve that organized step. So I'm going to copy this, and I'll just open up notes, and then we'll come back in here. And we'll do some planning for this step. And let's come back over here because I should have a roadmap. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So that has more work to do, which is fine. And let's take a look at this planning step. I like to read this. I can't understand some of it. I mean, I can tell you what this is. Actually, I don't. This is terminal scripts, like instructions. Uh, locate, I guess, is what that L is. This is the route. So, this tells you I'm not a coder because I can't really read all this stuff. But it's okay. I'm following along. Sometimes it gets a little bit more coherent instead of just let me find this stuff. All right, plan type organized step. This is the plan. Yes, risk skewing the writer. Sanitize brief, changes, organize mode only, draft and untouched. Verified facts, timeline, local context. Yeah, that's fine. All right, I'm gonna execute this plan. simple improvement. It's not going to be a huge change. A lot of the same rules are going to exist. The writer's still going to write, but we're just going to make sure that this is a little bit more tight. And so I'll have the opportunity to do this button here, this AI organize sources again here in a moment, so that I can see what that new output looks like after we draft it. This step happens, by the way, automatically for me. I've worked to streamline this whole thing so that I don't have to hit the button every time. I do still have to hit this AI write draft button. And part of the reason for that is I do tend to look at these organized facts whenever I feel like there might be a potential for a bad output, because I do, I'm pretty sensitive to that. I want to make sure that the quality of our publication is high. And we've had some instances where things aren't really going the way we want them to. So very sensitive to that in my process. But as these steps get better, as they seem to produce more consistent results, I'll be able to automate those steps, which I think is, kind of what we're doing now in the world of coding and software development. Is we can't know everything that we could have, and so part of it is building. And why is this taking so long? Building, seeing what we have, trying to add to that, make it better, let people enjoy the features and see where there's friction, and continuously iterate. It could be me, but I kind of feel like these coders are kind of working a little slow today. A lot of time thinking and locating. I have had experiences where Lovable can slow down a little bit. I don't know if that's uh, my perception or if it's true. But let's see. We'll come back to this one. We will organize the sources. Okay, so what we're going to do now is come to the write AI draft step. And then we can compare this output, see how different it is. So put these side by side and just kind of scan a little bit on these articles. First one's going to be the link to the article itself. Put these a little bit closer to each other and see if there really was any difference. And I was trying to remember, pushes is a new one, so this is the newer one. Yeah, they're not that different, so maybe it's not hugely impactful there, but just to minimize the potential for error, I think that was still a good step. So I'll publish this. I want to go back over to my editor's desk and see what the weather looks like. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So I find myself opening up the weather app to get the weather when I have the weather right here in my channel RVA, but it's faster to open up the app. So this will speed up my knowledge process. So just have to organize my thoughts in the morning and figure out what's going on between all these things. All right, so where was I at? I don't know that I save that output, but that's quite all right. I will go get it here.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent
And go ahead and
creators.
submit that story. We'll go
Subscribe to
back and get this
channelrva.com.
other story. Check out the AI organized sources. I'm going to hit that button again just to. It looks like that might have actually already updated itself. So we'll get the draft written here. And these stories will end up going into tomorrow's newsletter. So let's see what this is. And that's it. So I'll come in here tomorrow. I'll go ahead and accept these stories for the actual recently published. What's going to happen here is, and when my contributors write stories, I'm expecting one here a little bit later today. I'll be able to review that, edit it, and save it up to our story queue. And what you're seeing here are the stories that I flagged for today's newsletter. So, what to watch, what to listen to, podcasts, suggested events, all that. And then let me see what happened with my books here. Yeah, cool, 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 cool. This is it. Lots of local authors. Super cool. All right. Uh, Restaurants, editor's note. Even my editor's note gets written for me if I don't write it. So that's cool. And I can skip it if I'm like, it's not going to be good. I might skip it. That's an option as well. Okay, so let's get back over to this. We should be in a good place here. Let me see. This build will go really fast once I can copy the sprint queue. Check the items in the roadmap because I believe we have some things that are actually complete now. And while you're at it, figure out why there's an error in the user interface here for the roadmap for me. Okay. This is a uphill battle, let me tell you. I was talking to somebody yesterday. No, I was teaching my class on Wednesday. I teach a class at University of Richmond about improving your brain visibility in large language models for prompts that are related to your industry. And we were just talking about bad outputs from AI and what you do about it. And we have a tendency to try to solve problems, so we might spend over too much time trying to move through friction instead of just starting over. AI moves so fast, sometimes it might make more sense to scrap it. This one, I feel like it's not unsalvageable. I think it just takes getting getting this roadmap finished, and that's been, for whatever reason, it's been a hurdle for me on a lot of these builds. So roadmap items table is empty. There's nothing. What do you mean? There's nothing. And the continue with Google button doesn't work again. What is going on with this app? It's because I am signed in. Ugh, these things mess. There's something fundamentally wrong with this application, and before I do anything else, I need you to understand that we are running into a significant amount of friction in this build. If we cannot overcome the challenges that I'm facing right now, then we will be forced to scrap this project and start over. I know how badly you don't want to do that. Number one, I cannot click on the continue with Google button. That is depreciated somehow. It was working before. That must work in order for me to log in and see the roadmap. Number two, the routes to the roadmap are giving me a 404 error. The admin link on the home page delivers an error message. I have not been able to see the roadmap yet. You haven't been able to explain to me why you didn't copy the roadmap items from the previous database tables, as I told you was the thing you needed to do. These are all problems, and they need resolutions. But what I want you to understand also is that our job here today is to not fix problems. We don't like to fix problems. We like to build excellent software. We like to build software that enables efficient software development. We want to build software that isn't bloated or overloaded with unnecessary junk. And I need to build software that is clean and something that is coherent for you to understand. So if we have lots of problems, we might need to scrap this. But I suspect that we can overcome this with one single analysis, thorough analysis of the code, the functions, the database, everything that exists inside of this application, and get it right. And so we're going to do a deep dive and make that happen. If you were superstitious, you could say that this friction is a sign. I shouldn't be doing this. I think that this is it's slowing me down, which is fine. I think it's okay to take your time, and I like hanging out with you guys too. So if you're out there in internet land and you're watching me, leave a comment. Tell me what you're cooking up. What do you want to build? What are you building? Are you building? Do you want to build? What do you want to see me build? I want to read what this has to say.
into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
Pop lieben wir. Biggest Pop Hits. Ein eigener Channel für die größten Stars der Welt. Ein eigener Channel für die besten Fans der Welt.
So that's exciting.
Mit Taylor Swift,
Hello,
Harry Styles,
I'm Harry.
Olivia Rodrigo, Tate McRae, Billie Eilish und vielen mehr. Schalt jetzt zu I Love Biggest Pop Hits.
This is I Love Chill Hop.
So, if you're tuning in for the first time, I've been going at it for about 40 minutes here, and we're working on getting a product roadmap installed into the New Faith Movement, which is an app that I'm building to help people establish a daily practice of service, to oneself and service to others as a means of developing a ritual habit, an undercurrent of goodness, if you will. Strange build, some might say, but I'm actually going to use this because I do like to improve myself. I'm interested in trying to find ways to develop habits and practices that lead to improvements across areas of my life, whether that's my mental health or my confidence, my financial position, my business position. Being able to have clarity about what the future looks like or might look like, to be able to make plans and drive forward. I have found that just by doing things, by having things to do, we can really enrich our lives. And sometimes it can be difficult to think about what to do. And so for me, I build things. That's something to do. It gives me exposure to ideas, and I learn how to code. I learn how to architect. And so much more. Let's see what it says. The forecast on the editor's desk is only somewhat helpful because it does not show today's high and low. It only shows future days and the current temperature. So can you please add today's high and low first in the series at the bottom of the box? So whenever I did that upgrade, it did not actually preserve the database. So now it's going to look for the database. Um, I did give it the instruction to do a deep dive. All right. Okay, so now it's formulating a plan. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you right now, looking at this, this is too slow. This plan generation is it's not normal to do it unformatted like that. Maybe my instructions said to drop the table, so that could have been my fault. Proceed with the plan. Do not attempt to recover the roadmap items. This needs to be fixed, but we don't need to recover the roadmap items. I'll just add them again. All right. One of the things that I've been running into with Lovable lately is I really rely heavily on this enable voice mode function, but it is slow to start to pick up my voice. You can see that it took quite a while for it to start listening there, and that's not a good user experience. So it's you know like if you're gonna build a product, make it work. Um, I'm not trying to be difficult over here. It's just it used to work just fine, and so now it's not working. Another thing that I was experiencing, and I haven't even really tried it because it was so unreliable before, is the voice mode on mobile was broken. So I wasn't able to make that work either. So here we go. All right, my roadmap is coming back. Um, I'm going to go over to Claude because I have somewhere in here my build plan that we used yesterday.
tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
My aim here today is to get to the point to where I can run the daily practice piece of this. Um, I have a version of this that I do for myself, but it's not inside of a computer. I handwrite it. Well, not the daily practice. I have a daily practice. It's not this, but I think having the space to renew every day and kind of follow easy flow is my goal. And it's also different. It's action oriented and not just thinking oriented. So my daily practice is more thinking oriented, which is good and necessary. But it is the service element that I'm working on creating with this application, so that we can actually get people to have some options for how they service themselves in a day, and how they service other people in a day, and how they can be intentional about that as a habit building activity. I haven't really fully thought through what that looks like. I don't know how I'm going to create these recommendations, or maybe people select from some options. I'm not quite sure yet, but once we start building, I'll have more clarity. So when I go to the sign in page, I still cannot click the continue with Google button. Perhaps I'm already signed in, but if I was already signed in, I shouldn't be stuck on the sign in screen. I should be automatically routed to the admin area. I'm not sure, but I was just explicit with you about what our goal was here, and the goal was to make it so that I can. Oh, it worked that time. What the hell happened? Maybe the deployment, the function deployment was slow. Signing in takes about 15 seconds or so. That is unacceptable. Inspect why signing in and loading the product roadmap takes so long. And why does visiting the admin URL take me back to the sign in screen? I am already signed in. I should never see the sign in screen if I am signed in. Something is wrong. I keep telling you that. This is fucking ridiculous. I think one of the biggest problems that I have is when it's slow. I don't know if it's actually really slow, or if you know, like it says no activity to display, but it tells me that it's analyzing the sign-in persistence. So why is it not actually showing me anything in the display? Like there's this kind of persistent disconnect that I experience whenever I'm working in these things, where it just there it goes. Like okay, it's thinking now. That's not really a helpful element, especially when I can see that it's doing something else over here. Either show me the information or don't tease me with it. Like, okay, now it's loaded all this stuff that it did instead of doing it real time. I'm certain that their servers are slow today. I don't know what's causing it, but maybe they've got some kind of promotion running. I don't know. Let's go take a look at Lovable's homepage. Yeah, whatever. I feel like if I were to go and try to rebuild this thing with another chat window with a brand new build, it's just going to still be slow. And that's the reason why I'm persisting with this build. I don't actually think that there's something fundamentally wrong with the build itself. I think that something's wrong with Lovable 2 days in a row. And uh, just persistent problems. Maybe there's a new model being used. I really don't know the answer to the question. But even this investigation is too slow.
It's 11 o'clock.
All right, there I am, about an hour into the build and still stuck. So there is a fault here. There's a code error. I told it that. Ah! It's okay. It's okay. All right, so now let's paste this in here. I need to build roadmap items for things in this list. I need to build roadmap items for things in this list that have not been completed yet. I do not want to add things that have been completed. That's not necessary. But I have the product roadmap as the place where we can add some detail around each of these build items to provide coherence and clarity to allow for a more efficient and effective development experience. So go ahead and think through this, expand on the ideas, and get that added to the product roadmap in a uh, planned state so that we can assemble the roadmap and execute. It's possible that I need to fire this agent and hire a new one. It's kind of acting stupid.
You're tuned into channel for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I think this kind of things are. Why is it still taking this long? Yeah. So current database sequential. Why? Why? All right.
Die kostenlose Streaming-App.
You were taking too long.
Hip-Hop und Throwbacks. Immer neue Playlists
I stopped.
live gestreamt.
Hello. I stopped your previous process because you were taking too long to execute the work. I have this product roadmap deployed on several products, very, very many products, and none of them take as long as this roadmap takes to load. What's especially concerning is that there are no items in the roadmap at all, so there should be no delay in loading this product roadmap. The page should load instantly. I believe that this is a test of my patience. And I'm bummed out that I can see the chat window over here, but I can't see how many people are hanging out with me. So if you're out there, give me some love. I need a moral support to get through this one. A lot of thinking today. Lovable, what are you guys doing? What is going on over there in your world? Thank you. 63. That's what I wanted to know. A little chilly, but not too bad. Not too bad. Do a security review on that site. I don't understand why you cannot see the problem that I'm experiencing here. It still takes 11 seconds to load the product roadmap. You didn't do anything to fix my problem. What is happening? This is the most absurd thing that I've ever experienced. This needs to be a simple fix. There is a simple fix to this. You're taking too long to solve the problem. You keep maybe finding little things and saying, "Oh, I found it," and fix it. And this is like whack-a-mole over here. What is going on? This happens sometimes, guys, and this might just be a sign that I need to scrap this project. I've just burned so much damn compute, though. Not a good ad for Lovable today. Not that I work for them anyway. It's not my job. It's to show you guys how to use these tools. And today you get to see me be frustrated because I'm 2 days into the same build and I have just a really piss poor start. All right, well, I'm gonna run. Here's what I'm gonna do. Yes.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I'm gonna run parallel functions here. I'm gonna actually see if I can't go faster with the new build. It's not mucked up, while also trying to fix this one. we'll see which one wins. And I'll go for about 15 more minutes before I wrap up today because my patience will wear thin if I don't get what I'm looking for. But this will at least help me understand whether or not there's a problem with Lovable or if there's just a fundamental problem with my build over here. Of course, I can't navigate to anything on this site because it's so primitive. That was actually pretty darn fast, I have to say. Let me get back into this. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It is. The highest priority item that we need to add to the product roadmap is to finish the admin UI so that I have a proper header and sidebar that allows me to navigate the site like a normal user. Clicking on the logo on the top left takes me back to the front end of the site so that I can see it and navigate and play without a lot of friction. I also need to have a left-hand sidebar that's collapsible that has my roadmap and my dashboard and whatever else we're going to build in the future. The top bar just needs to give me a hamburger menu on the right-hand side that allows me to get back into the site and maybe click around the different pages. And then the final thing that I want to do is I want to improve the main navigation bar. Everything's stacked in there because it's fitting too much stuff. I don't know what you're going to do, but you'll figure it out. Make a roadmap item to cover these things, maybe 2 roadmap items. And I think that I was talking before it was picking up my voice, so I'm going to have to go and fix the transcript. Bloated code. Bloated code. It's like not burning too many credits on this crap. All right. Kind of like watching paint dry, huh? All right, I'm gonna make a coffee. I'm hanging out with you guys here for a little bit longer, so I gotta get charged up. I'll talk to you while I do this, as long as I'm not grinding my coffee. Well, at least it's applying a patch. Let's see what's going to be first. All right, let's go here to product roadmap again. Okay, let's get that in there. This is a pretty big build too, so if this happens faster over here than this one, I might chalk it up to like just a faulty build someplace. Who knows? Maybe it's.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
All right, I gotta learn something today. I don't know the difference between TanStack and Vite React Router DOM. This is interesting. This has never happened before. So something changed in Lovable. All right, so let's do this. So I built the product roadmap a while back in Lovable, and I've been using an SDK to deploy it in other Lovable apps. Today and yesterday, I built a marketing sort of site. It's not a marketing site, but it's a website that has like front-facing features. And I went to deploy the roadmap, and then I found out that there's a different stack that's being used, and I don't understand why that would be. Wouldn't it use the same stack to build every time? Is there something wrong with Vite? Is there something better about TanStack? Um, I don't understand the difference between these two and what's being asked of me because we have the marketing site, which is just content at this point, but then we have this uh, roadmap that we need to add to make this product work. Okay, let's get this transcript. Somebody at Anthropic can figure out how to get the voice mode to just be a transcriber on the desktop app or on the website. Please fix that. Gosh, it's terrible. I have to use my phone to do this. Okay. This roadmap was built with Vite React instead of TanStack, and I want to know why that choice was made. So maybe the problem here is that there's two different stacks. I mean, it would have had to have updated, but This is still taking too long to load, so I think I am going to scrap this project altogether because this one's actually much further along. Um, hmm. All right. Well, unfortunately, all of the remedies that you attempted did not yield an outcome that we had hoped for. So we will be terminating this application build in favor of a newer build that is functional. Before I terminate this build, I would like a report on why our many attempted fixes did not yield successful outcomes. It's important that we understand why we had these failures because we spent about 3.5 hours trying to make this work and we failed.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
Okay, let's see what we've got on this report. Good gracious, this is a long report. All right. Not solving the actual bottleneck consistently, we treated the roadmap as an empty data page, but the code base treated it as a large admin application with authentication, role checking, real-time presence, external roadmap aggregation, admin user loading, animation libraries, and many UI components. A large monolithic page build. So the zero roadmap items, the page was still doing far more than load an empty list. Of course, she was architectural, not the empty roadmap query. Route was not lightweight. It was gated behind an auth admin checks and then loaded a very large admin component that immediately several interdependent systems. Optimize symptoms before proving the bottleneck. Admin roadmap component is too large and too eager. Is this site using Vite React or TanStack? All right, so I've got the AIs warring with each other today. Anthropic is basically saying one thing about Lovable, and Lovable saying something else about itself. So let's let them fight with each other. Cool. Looks like we're making progress over on this one. Yeah, I don't even like this assessment. I mean, maybe if anything, it's telling me that it chose a insufficient analysis uh, plan. It's the only thing I can read out of that. Looks like this one's just timed out, and we're about to finish up getting all these little things done. These roadmaps are kind of hefty because some of what happens with these is they sync. I can sync it to a central location, which we're going to be doing inside of our spaceport application, so that we can see the status of the builds in one place. But that is a future phase. First thing is getting all this stuff working. Why is the continue with Google button grayed out? I should be able to sign in if you finish the work. No. Why is the continue with Google button not functional? It's grayed out. I'm also not able to sign in. I created an account, and when I sign in, nothing happens. There's something wrong with the sign in screen because I just signed in, and when I click the sign in button again, it just takes me back to the sign in screen and nothing happens. It feels like the routes aren't wired up and I'm not able to access the actual product roadmap that we just built. So it seems like there's something weird going on here. All right, guys, getting along here, but I did abandon a build. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to
Jetzt neu? Mit Tomorrowland One World Radio. Der offizielle Tomorrowland Radiosender. 24/7 in the mix.
I'm not sure if I'd delete this one or just keep it as a specimen, but
Tomorrowland every day. In der I Love Music app.
oh,
This is I Love Chill Hop.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
So we just installed the product roadmap, and I'm finding that um, I'm not able to access it somehow. Oh, wait, there it is. No, there's a public roadmap that we don't need. I didn't ask for. But I can't see the admin roadmap. Does my user need to have permissions? Today, I have had two really failed deployments of the product roadmap where there's a lot of missing parts or it just doesn't work. And these are fresh builds, so there's nothing else going on here. I'm wondering if perhaps this build is somehow out of date and needs some kind of updates or fixes. I'm going to give you a report from one of the builds that just never actually got off the ground. I deployed this roadmap. I deployed this roadmap on another project. I deployed this roadmap on another project, and I had this same error message. I'm not sure what is going on with the deployment, but there was obviously some kind of failure in compatibility or something like that. But we're still struggling to get access to the roadmap here, and this tooltip thing is bogus as far as I'm concerned. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up today, guys, because this has been a struggle of an exercise. But if I'm going to keep building these apps, I have to have this roadmap work. I need to have all these problems can't exist. I'm finding that the product roadmap is taking about 15 seconds to load, which is a similar behavior to another build that I had where I was unable to actually remedy the problem. I'm determined to not be set back by this challenge that we're facing. And I don't know what the remedy is, but we need to determine what that is. Here's a report from the other build. Okay. Hmm. I deployed this. I deployed this product roadmap on another app. I replicated it, and everything was fine, pretty much, except for the roadmap was loading slowly again. Finally, I figured out this thing that it told me, and I'm not sure if it's the same problem that we're having here, but I do know that this is still loading very slowly, and maybe the tooltip thing is the culprit after all. Okay, now, holy crap, you guys got to see it. You got to see it. It happened. I need to populate the product roadmap with the following roadmap items, but a higher priority for me is to actually add in the navigation items for the admin dashboard. I want to see a left-hand sidebar that has the ability for me to navigate the various things in the admin panel. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to get the product roadmap populated. Let me see what this found out. All right. Well, anyway, a couple hours in here to this build, and I'm gonna call it quits. I'll let this run in the background, populate my roadmap. I will get this thing wired up so that I can at least do my daily practice. Share it with you guys whenever it's ready. But if you've been patient with me through this build, you are a saint because I have been struggling with the patience here today. But this is what happens sometimes. You don't get it right every time, and I'm eager to know. I mean, I think that this thing is incredibly uh, something is happening over here. I don't know if it's the sandbox action that's happening or what, but it's taking too long to do everything.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I don't understand why you're taking so long to address this issue. I just need you to figure out if this tooltip provider is an issue. I don't need you to go and do this big investigation. This is not a difficult thing. Just go and fix the problem and see if it makes it faster. Doesn't even understand what I'm talking about over here. Okay. All right, I keep saying I'm going to quit, but I keep making progress here. So, let me wrap it up. Thank you guys. Hope you join me again next time. I'm not sure if I'm going to go live tomorrow or not. I'm traveling next week, so I'm going to be off for the next 3 sessions. But I'll be back in short order. So thanks for hanging out with me today. This was fun, frustrating but fun. Learning something.